and how to create object. So what does a class has? Yeah, class has properties, nothing but variables and methods. Class has properties, comma, methods. Now to access the properties and methods, comma, methods, we need
Object.
Okay, now how to create an object?
Class name. Where object. So class.
Class. Like this, we can create an object. Now object dot, we can access whatever property 1 equal to value. Okay, or object dot method, like that we can access the methods, right? So yesterday we have seen an example. Yeah, yesterday we have seen an example. X comma y are the two variables in this class, and these are the two methods, right? So we create object for a class and access the variables and methods. Now, see, object can be created. See, calculations is a class, right? But I am creating an object here only within the same class. But in this example, I am creating object in the same class, right? In the same class, there is a main method and I am creating an object. Okay, but there is no rule. We have to create object here only. Ide class lone object create cheyalan rule em ledhu. Understood, right? There is no rule that you have to create object only in the same class. You can create anywhere outside also. So suppose, let me write one more program called EX. Now EX is a different program. Calculations is a different program. Yeah, see what is the point? Previously what did I do? In the same class, in main method, I created object for the class, right? I created object for the class, for the same class, right? Yes or not? For the same class. Is it always a rule like this? You have to create always in the same class, in main method, you have to create object for the same class. Is it a rule like that always? No. That's what I'm saying. So now if you take a calculations program class, so we can always create, remember? So we can create object for a class in any other program, in any other class, and still access the variables, comma, methods. So we can create object for a class in any other class. But calculations is a class having these two variables and methods. EX is a other program. EX is some other program. But still, yeah, I can create object for the calculation here. Calculations. MSC equal to new calculations. C dot. Yeah, what is our variable? X equal to 10. C dot y equal to 20. Maybe C dot multiply method I can call. Okay. Yeah, see, still it is displaying what you call 10 into 20. Yeah, 200, right? It is okay, 60, 10 plus 50, 60 it is displaying, that's okay. Because we are displaying a conversion, right? Integer dot parse into yes. Convert a string into an integer, right? One day I was telling the string dot value of will convert a value into a string data type. Like that integer dot parse int of string, it will convert in integer data type, right? So we are converting 10 plus 15. What is that? 60. Okay, leave it off. But this multiply what it is displaying. But 10 into 20, 200, right? Class undi kadamma, calculation ane class lo multiply ane method leda, which is multiplying x and y and displaying the product, right? Yeah, other method I am calling, right? Multiply method I am calling, which is displaying 10 into 20, 200, right? Yeah. So the okay now the output. Now see what did we do? Calculations is a different program, but still we are creating object in some other program, and still we can access the variables and methods. Is this point okay, right? Yeah, we can create object for a class in any other class, and still we can access the variables and methods. Okay. Now again the basic concept. What does a class has? Class has variables and methods. A class has variables and methods. Okay. Now in Java there is a class called. There is already existing class called. There is existing class called scanner. There is a class called scanner. So scanner class has methods. But class has methods, right? But what does a class has? Has methods. What methods it has? It has a method what you call next int. What is a method it has? Next int. Like that it has a method called next boolean. It has a method called next double. Data types double. It has a method called next. Okay, so these are the methods. Now this is a method to read integer value. This is to read boolean value. This is to read a decimal value. Read decimal value. This is to read string value. So that means scanner is to read input. So now finally, what did you understand? Scanner class has methods to read
Input.
Yeah. So now to read an integer value input, the method is next int. To read a boolean value input, next boolean. To read a decimal value, next double. Like that methods are. But now, whatever we learned is based on yesterday concept. If you want to access the variables and methods, what do we need to do? To access the properties and methods, we need object. Make a class tells you. You know there is a class. You know there are methods. Okay, one more thing. Yeah, one more thing. Method can have input arguments. Method also can return a value, right? Emma, you know, right? We discussed it. Substring is taking how many input arguments?
Two.
Two input arguments, right? Int, int, 3, 9, I am giving integer values on the substring. What is the return type? No.
String.
అక్కడ రాసే ఉంది కదా అక్కడ రాసే ఉంది కదమ్మా యా బ్రెయిన్ కూడా అవసరం లేదు ఇక్కడ రాసే ఉంది కదా what is the first word is the return type, right? String. Yeah, length returns what value?
Integer value.
No, రాసే ఉంది అక్కడ. What is that?
Integer
value, right? Yeah, caret returns. Yeah, caret returns a character, right? Char value. Well, in case, for example, if I want to store this value in a variable, that variable must be of what type?
Char.
Yeah. In case if I want to store that in a variable, this variable must be of what type?
Character. In.
Char, what is the return type?
Character.
Char. If I want to store that in a variable, then variable must be? Character. Right? So what is the data type of that? Char only, right? Yeah, length only. Yeah, this is okay. Length is there. Length returns what type of value?
Integer value.
So if I want to store that in a variable, that variable must be of what type?
Integer.
Integer value, right? Why another data type? Oh, when the equal to right side value, left side variable, data type must be same, right? Same undali kada. Must be same.
Yes, sir.
Equal to right side value, left side data type of variables must be same, right? If you make different, that is wrong kada. So yesterday at length what value you give me? Some
Integer.
so some integer value it is giving me. But yesterday at length will give me to programming how much more, what is the length? It will give me 11, right? But 11 is what type of value? Okay, physical guy, if I keep 100 now, yeah, 100 can, sorry, 11 can be stored in a variable of what type?
Integer.
Data type, right? I can't store that in a string, right? Emma, do you understand?
Okay.
So if method is going to return an integer value, you have to catch that into an integer variable. Okay, but substring on the substring returns a string. Okay, well, in case if you want to store that in a variable, then that variable must be string data type. Understood, right? So please, if you want me to explain again, I will explain. Understood or not?
Understood, sir.
Hello.
Understood.
Understood, sir.
So if method is going to return a value, okay, if method is going to return a value, then the the variable also should be of what data type? The same data type, right? And what type the method is going to return? The method is returning what type of data? Variable also must be same data type, right? Yeah, but for example, contains returns what type of value? Contains.
Boolean. Boolean.
Well, in case if you want to store that in a variable, that variable should be
Boolean.
Boolean data. Yes or not? Okay. But next method reads integer value. It will read integer and returns. So what value it returns now? Integer value. If I want to store that in a variable, that variable must be integer value.
Integer.
Or if I want to store a Boolean value, then that variable must be Boolean value. Next returns a string. So then I have to store that in a string variable, right? But now you know the method, so how to catch that value? Class, method, to access them, you need object, Yeah, Chappa now. If you take any of the example here. Okay, let us take this example. I stored n equal to 18, right? And always n value is 18 only. But no. I will give the value during runtime. Yeah, then what you should have done? To read a value, what is the class?
Scanner.
Scanner. So to use those methods, what is that we need? Object. And you know the syntax, right? Scanner, right? Some object. Scanner, some object equal to
New scanner.
new. There is a syntax, class name. Object equal to new class name. Okay. No, scanner will read input correct. But we have to tell, scanner will read input correct. But we have to tell, input should be read from where? Okay, scanner will read input. But from where? From where? We have to tell them. Jakanich reads their input. Chapal. So from where? From file or keyboard or from string variable, okay, or from buffer. From where we have to read a value, we have to tell them. Input ekanichi read cheyali chapali kada. So input it should read from a file or from keyboard or from string variable or from memory buffer, from where it has to read a value. We have to tell, right? So that's why when I use a scanner, I will also tell input should be read from keyboard like that. So I have to give means I have to type through keyboard, right? So input I have to read from keyboard. So then scanner of, I will write here system.in. But system.out is to display the output. System.in is to read from the keyboard. So now in this case, what I am telling, So I am telling that scanner should read input from keyboard. So what is the meaning here? Scanner will read input from keyboard. Yeah. So meaning system.in to read input from the keyboard. Okay. Now what is object here? SC, right? Now how do you call the methods? Object dot methods, right? Regular syntax object dot methods. But SC dot. So there are methods. So in that I want to read integer value, right? In this example, number because I want to display which is an even number or odd number. A number to read a number. What is the method?
Next int.
Next int. Everybody SC dot. Next int. There is a method called next int, right? But next int returns what value?
Integer value.
What is int, right? I have to catch into a variable n. N is already declared as integer, right? Can I say n equal to like this? So whatever I'm reading, that I'm storing into n. Now we run the program. So now when we run, now here in the console, right? The console cursor is waiting here. See, program is still running, right? You see that it's a red color marking. The program is still running. So I have to give the input value. Okay, let me give 24. Now immediately what it said, 24 is even. But it simply cursor is waiting. So we don't know what is happening here. We don't know. So when you run the program, simply cursor is waiting here. You don't know, right, what is happening. So maybe you can stop the program like this. You know, right? Well, sometimes if program, you wrote a wrong loop, infinite loop. Program is continuing, it is not stopping. What will you do? You click on this stop button, right? Yeah, program will terminate. So terminate the program, no problem. So here write a meaningful message, right? So what is the meaningful message you write? System.out.println. Can you write a message here?
Enter the number.
Please enter a number. Write that message. Below that we are reading the number. So now when you run the program, now you see, yeah, please enter a number. But now meaningful, right? Please enter a number. Yeah, give some number, let's say 13. Now immediately it says 13 is odd number. So now again you run the program. Again it's asking, please enter a number. So now I will give, let's say, yeah, 56. Now it says 56 is even number. It's meaningful, right? Yeah, like that. Yeah, now when you are doing programming, if you have already given some constant value, it's okay. But if no, sir, I will give values during runtime, and yeah, now you can use a scanner class and you can read input from the keyboard. Okay. Now this line and this 12th line and 14th line, these two lines meaning you understood, right? Yeah. 12th line, what did we do? We created object for scanner class. Using the object, we are calling a method called nextInt is a method. Because nextInt is returning integer value, so we are catching into a n variable, which is an integer data. That's all, right? Directly, what do you write? SC dot nextInt %2 equal to 0 ante rasinapudu okay, nothing, no problem. Yes or not? So it will read and divide by 2. And if it is 0 means it is even number, else it is not a whatever, it is an odd number like that. Okay, endukanta confusion anukunte better you can put it to better you can put in a variable, so that variable you can calculate it. That's okay, right? Yeah. So like that, maybe if you take any other program, string instead of giving a constant value, I want to read it from keyboard. What do you write? Chapandi, how do you do that? Scanner.
SC is equal to
Object equal to new.
scanner.
Scanner of
System.
System dot
dot in.
System.in.
Yeah, you write one message, right? System dot out at front, enter a string, right? Enter a string, combination of characters, comma, digits, comma, special characters. Message, meaningful message. Now you write str equal to sc dot. To read a string, what is the method?
Next.
Next, right? Next is to read a string, because next returns what? Next returns a string, right? So that I am storing into str. But the initial value I can remove, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So the str equal to sc dot next. So now when you run the program, it will ask you, right? Enter a string, combination of special characters, digits, all the things. Enter some string, Java 45%, programming 34, something, right? It's saying, right? J is a character, A is a character, the digits, special characters, digit. You get, right? So like that. So now you can read a string from the user using a method called next method to read a string. Next to read integer value. Next boolean to read a boolean value. So now this is a class. This is a class, and these are the methods. Okay. This is okay, Rama, how to create object for a class. And using object, we have to call the methods. But make a class methods, you know this concept, right? You know what is an array? Array is also variable to store multiple values. But once you declare array size is 5, once you declare array size is 5, array size is constant, right? Can you increase the size of array? No. Can you insert values in the middle of array?
No.
If you insert, then what would happen to the current value? Because array size is not dynamic. Array has, assume that array has multiple values. But if this is array, if this is array of 0, array of 1, array of 2, array of 3, array of 4, something like that. This is the 0 index, 1 index, 2 index, 3 index, 4 index, like this. Okay, assume that this is the array of how many values? 5 values. So once I declare array size is 5, it's fixed. Array size cannot be dynamic, right? 6 or 7 or 10, no, you can't make it dynamic. Plus, if you try to insert a value here, then what should happen to this existing value? Right, existing value. If you think that, if you assume that, sorry, existing value will go here, this value will go here. Where should this value will go? After that, there is no size, right? So that means inserting values in the middle is not possible. Like removing the values in the middle also not possible. Okay, inserting values in the middle not possible. Removing the values also not possible. Okay, replace and you can assign a new value to that. But array of 2 equal to some other value. That means old value is replaced with new value. Assign a new value, right? You can do that. But for that, I'm telling you, there is one more class called array list. Okay, there is a class called array list. Array list is also same like array. Array list is also same like array. Array list. Array list is also same like array. But here size is dynamic. You store 5 values means size is 5. If you store 10 values means size is 10. If you store only 1 value means size is 1. Right? Size is elastic. Right? You can store a number of values. You can reduce the size, increase the size. You can do whatever you want. Plus, you can also insert values in the middle. You can remove values in the middle. You can do whatever you want. But now array list is a class. The class should have methods, right? Yes, there are methods like add is a method to add a value. Right? Add is a method which will take position as well as value. That means you can insert at which position, middle also you can tell, right? Like that. Next, there is a method called remove, and you tell which position value you want to remove. Like that size is there to get the size. But like that, there are so many methods. I am giving 3 or 4 methods because you are learning a concept of class methods like that. So if this is a class and if these are the methods, if you know, how do you access these methods? Same thing. What is the concept? How do we access the methods? But how did we access these methods? Same concept. What is that? We need object. Again, I'm giving one more example. So if you know that this is a class and these are the methods, what you can do? You can create object for the class and you can access those methods, right? Yes or not? You can create an object for the class and you can access the methods. But a scanner access chesarma, same way you can access the what you call create object for the class and access the methods, right? Second, how do you create an object? What is the class name I said? Scanner kaadu. Array list kada. Array
List.
array list is there, right?
Hmm.
My drop down list lo array list is there, right?
Yes.
Array list. Okay, chapter. Array list. Edo object. AL anukunte equal to
New
new
array list.
అదే కాన్సెప్ట్ క్లాస్ నేమ్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఈక్వల్ టు న్యూ క్లాస్ నేమ్. అదే మీకు ఆ క్లాస్ నేమ్స్ కొన్ని రెగ్యులర్లీ యూజ్డ్ క్లాసెస్ యూ షుడ్ రిమెంబర్. ఓకే, మేబీ రెగ్యులర్లీ వెన్ వీఆర్ ప్రాక్టీసింగ్ డూయింగ్ డిఫరెంట్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ you can remember, but tomorrow when you come across some new class, then explore it. Oh, what is this class? What is the purpose? What methods are there? If you know that, simply create object for the class and call the methods. That's all. Okay, so array list, some object equal to new array list of. That's all, right? But now we also have to tell the data type, right? What type of values we want to store in this? Are the integer values, string values, boolean values, data type cheppali kada. Okay, if I want to store a string values in this, can I tell what is the data type is? String. Yeah, that means I want to store what type of values? String values. Now, what is the method to add some values? AL dot. I said these are the methods, right? But object dot, you are calling the methods. Then all of you understood, right? అర్థమైందా కన్ఫ్యూజన్? అర్థమైంది కదా? ఇప్పుడు ఎక్కడ చేశాను? ఇప్పుడు స్కానర్ అనే క్లాస్ హ్యాస్ నెక్స్ట్ ఇన్ ఎలిమెంట్. ఓకే, సో స్కానర్ క్లాస్ హ్యాస్ దీస్ మెథడ్స్. ఇప్పుడు ఇవి ఎలా యాక్సెస్ చేసాం? హౌ డిడ్ వి యాక్సెస్ దెమ్? By creating object for the class, we are accessing them, right? But calculation is our own class. Calculations is our own class. We created object for calculations and we access the method, right? The same way, what I am saying is array list is a class. These are the methods. How to access them? Creating object for the class. Using object, we can access the methods, right? The same thing what I am trying to explain. Array list. Because I want to store string type of data, so I told string is the data type. That's okay. AL is object equal to new array list. Now AL dot, what is the method? I said add. So there is an add method which is taking only one argument, right? It will add a value. What is the value we want to add? Value add chain. For example, Lenovo. AL dot add. Some values you can add Java. AL dot add. Value testing. Yeah, AL dot add. Any value you can. What you call? Selenium. AL dot add. AL dot add. AL dot add. Oh, n number of values, right? So did we specify any size for this? No, are array aithe we have to specify the size and we can add only those many values. You can't add out of the boundary range. But here there is no size. You can add a number of values. But how to refer the values? Same like array based on index, right? Array index starts from 0. But here also index starts from 0. Until now Lenovo index is 0, Java index is 1, testing index is 2, Selenium index is 3. Okay, if I want to add one more value in place of 3, then what will happen? The third value is added here. Selenium will go to the next position, right? Yeah, how to add a value in the middle? AL dot add. See, there is one more add method which is asking for index comma value, right? Remember, first one is asking only value, but this is asking index comma value. So which position? Okay, third position. Third position, I want to add a value. Either value add chain, for example, load runner.
So we have
Load runner is added where? 0, 1, 2, 3. And now Lenovo, Java, testing, load runner. Then automatically next position will be Selenium, Linux, HP, and Samsung. Now tell me the for each loop statement how to read all the values. For you know, right? For each loop statement, for variable colon. Yeah, తెలుసు కదమ్మా for each loop statement ఇక్కడ రాసాం కదా for variable colon array. Yes ma. Now array is of what type of data? Integer. So we have taken variable is also of integer data type. Yeah, here for a string variable colon array ARR, because ARR is a string values. We have taken string variable will take each value from the array. Emma, variable will take each value from the array. Same thing here also. Yeah, what is the collection variable here?
String.
Chapan, by seeing this program, you tell me what should I write here? For instead of collection, what should I write here?
add
Okay, for Chapan.
String.
Variable, edo variable. X colon.
Array list.
For string X colon.
array list.
Array list.
A1 dot A1 AL dot add.
అయ్యో అక్కడ అవి రెండు ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ ఉన్నాయి మా ఇక్కడ ఈ రెండు ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ దీన్ని చూసేనే చెప్పండి అంటున్నాను కదా.
So AL is the accessor to access.
మరి ఇప్పుడు ఏం రాసాం? వాట్ ఈస్ ఎక్స్? ఎక్స్ అనేది అది డేటా టైప్ అరే వేరియబుల్ ఏం?
Variable name.
Array.
Array name.
Array, right? Now X is an array, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Here, what is that ARR? ARR is also array, right?
Yes.
Yes.
That object you are telling, right?
Yes.
మరి ఇక్కడ కూడా ఏం రాయాలి?
Add.
L.
అంతే కదమ్మా. ఇక్కడ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఏది? ఏఎల్, రైట్?
AL.
అంతే కదా, అది ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఏదో అది రాస్తాం అంతే కదా. X colon AL, right? అది కలెక్షనే కదా, array list, right? AL. Take each value from that AL, right? అంతే కదా, ఇక్కడ కూడా it is taking each value from the X array. It is taking each value from the ARR array. Here it will take each value from the AL collection, right? అంతే ఇక్కడ స్ట్రింగ్ ఎట్లా రాస్తాం? స్ట్రింగ్ రాసాను, అది కరెక్ట్. అది ఆ స్ట్రింగ్ అనేది డేటా టైప్ కదా తమ్ముడు. అరే లిస్ట్ రాసాను అనుకోండి, అరే లిస్ట్ అనేది అది క్లాస్ కదా. అట్లా అనుకుంటే అప్పుడు మీరు ఇక్కడ కూడా స్ట్రింగ్ వై కోలన్ స్ట్రింగ్ అని రాసి ఉండాలి. అది ఎట్లా? అది కాదు కదా. వీఆర్ యూజింగ్ ద వాట్ కాల్ అరే వేరియబుల్, రైట్? మరి ఇక్కడ కూడా ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఏది? ఏఎల్. What is it? X colon AL, right? X will take each value from the AL. Even what are the values in this? Over Java like that. So when you try to display, what is X will display each time? Yeah, X will display each value from this collection.
Java.
It is displaying all the values. It is displaying all the values. Now, where is load runner? Load runner is between testing and Selenium. Yeah, load runner. After adding load runner in the middle, we are displaying it. So now, what is if you see this program? What is all in this? Line number 10. What is the meaning of line number 10? We are creating object for a class called
Array.
array list. Array list is a class. AL is object we created. Add and what is this add? Add is a
Method.
right?
Method.
Now we already know class has methods. Now array list class is there. I told that array list is a class, add is a method. There are two add methods, right? One add method will add a value. One add method will tell the position and value also. Maybe here I have used position comma value also. Add is a method. In case if you want to remove, there is a method called remove, right? Maybe I don't know if you want to remove a value. So for example, I want to remove HP. Yeah, how do you remove a value HP? Yeah,
Dot remove.
remove, there is a method, right? But index, what is index? Second is 0, 1, 2. Then loader would have come at 3, 4, 5, 6. Remove the position value at the sixth position value. So now when you run without HP, it should display the output, right?
Yes, sir.
So without HP displaying the output, load run is added in the middle. One value is removed, HP in the middle, and remaining values are there. Okay. And I want you to understand. Basically, this is a class. So how to if you know, sir, tomorrow I will say, there is Y class. In Y class there is A method, B method, C method. So these are the purpose of the methods. If you know, just simply create objects for Y class and call those methods. Understood, right? So how to access the methods in any class? Just simply creating object for the class. We can access those methods. Understood, right?
Yes, sir.
Sir, what is that import third line, sir?
Okay. At this point of time, because array list belong to a different package, right? Right now, which package we are working?
My project.
But this belong to a different package, right? So that's why it should be imported here. You don't do anything. You don't write this line. I also did not write. So let me delete it once again. You remember, right? When I was typing, I type only 3-4 characters. Control space, right? Control space.
Yes,
Now
sir.
array list is belongs to array list Java dot array list. When I double click on it, array list will come automatically. Package is also imported.
Okay.
Now scanner also. If you see the previous example, scanner also belongs to java.util. So scanner is imported right here. This concept I will explain later, but okay, there is something import here. Remember. Okay. Yeah. So like that, if you see any Java program, that code works. Let me copy the same code as it is. Maybe program is so much program. But by seeing this, what did you understand? Oh, okay. Maybe program may be very lengthy program, but whatever you see here, what is basically, what is this line? What did you understand? What is file and what is this one? What is this and what is this? Remember Java concept of Japan. This is a class and this is object. Java language Japan. This is a class and this is a object. Now, what is that he is trying to do? Creating object for a class. What is a J text area? Text area is a class. It's creating an object, right?
JTA.
MSR.
Yes.
What is this? Public void edit file. What is this? This is a method, right? Method is taking one argument. That a method, what he is doing, you may not understand. But again, say you can understand what is this line, ma.
Object
Buffer
class.
reader is a
Object.
class.
Class.
What is a D is a object, right?
Object.
Equal to new buffer reader. Is a
Class.
class, right? And now this is a method. Inside a method is creating some object for buffer reader. Now using buffer reader, calling some methods, right? Yes or not?
Yes.
Set
Yes.
cursor is a method. A loop statement he has written. Set cursor. A close method he is calling. This is another method, right?
Yes.
Yes or not? Save file as is a method. There are some methods they are writing, right? There is an if condition, if else they have written some logic here. Yes or not? Open file, save file, notepad. There are some. Now he is creating object for each and every classes and calling the methods, right? Yes or not?
Yes. Sir.
What happened when I run this program? See, one notepad got created. Inside the notepad, I have my own options, right? New file, save, exit. Edit menu has cut, copy, paste. My file menu new open, save, exit. Okay, you can edit menu, cut, copy, paste. You can all that. Edit menu, right? Create menu. Edit menu should have what options? Menu, edit menu. Edit menu, what are the options are there?
Cut, copy.
Create the menu item. New, open, save, exit. This item J M edit, right? E menu J M edit. Edit menu should have cut, copy, paste. Help menu has about notepad. Take them help has about notepad. Below this help has only about notepad. Anything, whatever the program you see is all classes and methods. But sir, I don't know what is this class will do. And you have to learn. What is this class? What is the purpose? What methods are there? If you learn, if you practice, then you will remember. Understood, right? So I want you to tell that any Java developer also, if the developer want to create such an application, they will use existing classes in Java JDK and develop the applications. Understood, right? Yeah. If I type some values, file, save, it will ask me to save a file, right? Yeah, I can choose which location I want to save my file. I can save it. This is Java develop చేసిన window kadamma. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I can save a file. I can tell where I want to save the file. I can save it. I can open an existing file. Yes or no? Now I want to close means I can say exit. Yeah, done. Ani rasaru kada, code is written, right?
Yes, sir.
So main method, there is a public static void main. Is creating object for this notepad equal to new notepad object is created.
Hmm.
A class notepad object is created. It will start executing from the main method, right? Unnai kada main method undi, class undi, methods unnai. Save a file, to save a file in our local system, right? Mari exit కి ఎలా రాశారు అక్కడ exit క్లిక్ చేసినప్పుడు it has to close, right? సార్ ఎక్కడ ఉంటుంది చూడు దానికి కూడా కోడ్ వేర్ ఇస్ దట్
Else.
exit, right? Yeah.
Hmm.
So equals exit అయితే exiting అని దానికి ఏదో కోడ్ రాసి ఉంటారు ఇక్కడ somewhere what you call exiting, right?
Hmm.
notepad dot exiting ఈ మెథడ్ ఎక్కడ ఉంది అది ఎక్కడ రాసి ఉంటారు కోడింగ్ here they have written, right? Window closing, right?
Hmm.
So window closing, right? Whenever it listens, the writing what you call exiting, right? Yeah. So system dot, yeah, public void exiting. What is the system dot exit of 0? System dot exit of 0 will close the application. And the system dot exit of 0 will close the application. So మనం కూడా రాయొచ్చు ఇప్పుడు system dot exit of 0 అని రాస్తే in the middle of our program it will close. Okay. So మన Java program లో when you are writing ఏదైనా ఒక loop statement ఏదో రాసి a very small program, loop example, right? A loop example. This will iterate from what is this program? It's a small example. What is the output? It is displaying from last, right? I value is how much initially?
11.
11 kada.
Yes,
ఏదో
sir.
if condition రాసాను అనుకున్నా. If I equal to 5. ఏదో some small example. If I ఎక్కడో చోట I will become 5, right? When I becomes 5, if I write what you call system dot exit of 0.
0.
If I write like this and run, what will happen?
After 4 letters, it will exit.
The program stopped right here.
Okay.
Yes or not? If x equal to 5, what happened? It exit from that program, right? Yeah. So like that break also will exit from the loop statement, but there is a difference. Break ఏమవుతుంది? If I write break, what will happen? It will exit from the loop statement. Break, what it will do? Exit from the loop statement. After the loop, if I have written any statements, after the loop, if I have any code, it will execute this code.
Hmm.
Break ఏమైంది? It exited from here. Exit అయిపోయింది. After that, it is printing hello, right?
Yes, sir.
That means it is exit only from the loop, but it will continue after the loop. And if you would have told system dot exit of 0, if I write, what will happen? Completely stop the program there. It was not only while loop, completely stop the program. What you call completely stop the program. So now there is no hello also. So I want to stop that or I want to close that. We can use system dot exit. Like that, some statements. Understood, right? But basically, so if you learn if you want to become a Java developers, like that I'm telling. So if we know what are the existing classes, what are the existing libraries, which class is used for what purpose, what methods, simply we can create object for those classes and use those methods. That is a concept. Okay. Yeah. So, but finally, yeah, only one point I want you to understand now. You know, right? What is a class has? Methods. Now this class has these methods. Scanner class has these methods. Now anything if you want to access, what you have to do? The basic fundamental is you have to create object for the class. Using objects, we can access those methods. Is okay, Ram? Intavaraku concept okay, right? This is okay, my everyone? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's okay, kada? So you can create object for any class and still we can access the variables and hello?
Method.
Yeah, we can access the variables and methods in the class, okay, right? And one more point, what did I say? We can create object of a class anywhere outside also, right? We can create object of a class anywhere outside, still we can access the variables and methods. Okay, on the next let us we talk about so what does the class has variables and methods. So let us we talk about variables. Let us we talk about variables, then we'll talk about methods. Yeah. Now in a class, whatever variables we declare, there are 3 types of variables in a class. How many types of variables in a class?
3.
There are 3 types of variables in a class. One is instance variables, then is static variables and local variables. How many types? Yeah. Yeah, there are 3 types of variables in a class: instance variables, static variables, and then local variables. Okay. Now let me create one new class for your understanding. I'm creating a class called student. Yeah, what does a student has? String, student name, comma, course, joined for college, right? Now suppose, okay, I also want to display, get the student details and display, public void display. There's some method I'm calling it to display the student data. Now what do you print here? Student name plus, what is the course plus, I'm giving some space, plus college, right? Now let me, if I create object for student, first student equal to new student. Now S1 dot, I can access what is that? Student name equal to Ravi. S1 dot course equal to S1 dot college equal to, let's say JNT. Let me create one more student.
Yes.
S2. Student name of the student is IT. Oh, this is S2, right? Now, if you observe in this, I created like that, maybe 2 students or 10 students or 100 students or whatever it is. Every student has a name and course may be different. But all student college is same, right? But why to declare 2 times? Can we make, college 1 time and all objects, all S1, S2, S3, S4, all student will have same college? Now in the memory, how many objects I created here? 2.
Yeah.
If you take, this is the memory. Yeah, please understand. If this is the memory, I created S1 object and S2 object. Now S1 object is first student. S2 object is second student. Student, name and course are there. Here also, name and course are. If a student 1 name and a student 2 name will be same? No, names will be different, right? So that means, that's why I needed 2 names and 2 courses. Yes, sir, I need 2 copies of name and course variables, right? But college is same, right, for both the students. Then college also, why to create 2 times? College and college here 2 times. This is unnecessary occupying the memory space, right? But total game memory, how many variables space is occupied in the memory? 6 variables space. Total how many variables space is occupied? 6 variables. Here 3 variables, here 3 variables. But now I understood that college is same for both the students. I want to create only one time, and both objects refers to the same variable. So that now I can effectively utilize the memory space. So now what I want to do is, so college I want to create only one time, and I will say JNTU. Okay, where S1 also refers to the same college, S2 also refers to the same college. If how many variable space is occupied? 5 variable space. But previously what happened? 6 variable spaces are. Then the memory utilization is effective right now. So now how do I declare college only one time and both objects refers to the same? So for that, now I declare that college as a static variable. So what is the word I am using before the variable declaration? Before declaring a variable, I am using the word static. Now in the previous example also, calculations. So if you want to make this variable as a static, you have declared it, you have to write a word called static. So now what will happen? X comma y will become static variables. X comma y becomes static variables. And memory low, only one copy will be created. So static variables, how many copies are created in the memory? Only one copy. Yeah, don't get confused. Static is not a constant. Don't get confused. Sir, static means will it have only constant value? No, value you can modify whatever you want. Value can be editable. You can modify the value. But how many copies of the variable is created? Only one copy of the variable is created. But now as per this image, college is the memory created only one time. S1 object also refers to same college. S2 object also refers to same college. But S1 name and course are different. S2 name and course are different. So when you assign a value, now how do you allocate a value for this? Now as it is a static variable, remember static variables belong to the class. Static variable belongs to the class. Now name and course are not static, right? These are called as instance variables. These are called as instance variable. And this is called as static variable. Now, what is an object? Yesterday we discussed, right? What is an object means? Object is an instance of a class. Ide word is an instance, right? Now the variables belong to the object. Now, if you see this image also, name and course belong to S1 object. Here, name and course belong to S2 object. But college not belong to objects. College belong to class. Okay, so what is the point here now? Static variables belong to, come on, online participants, tell me what is static variables belongs to class, whereas instance variables belongs to
Object.
object. Okay, so instance variables we have to access using the object. Static variable we can access using
Static keyword.
variable we can access using class or object, no problem. But instance variables we have to access only using variable. We have to access only using object. Yeah, these 2 points. Understand? No? Static variables we can access using class or object. But instance variables we have to access only using object because they belong to object. Because they belongs to object. That's why name and course are instance variables, belongs to S1 object. This name and course belongs to S1. This name course belongs to S2. But college belongs to both because it is available for the class. Okay, right? Now, I can access the static variable directly using the class also, right? What is the class name? Student dot. See, student dot. You are able to access college, but it is not showing me the name and the course. Okay, only college it is showing. If you make them static, then you can access them using the class name also. But name and course only one copy will be there in the memory. Okay, right? మీరు ఏ స్టూడెంట్ నేమ్ కోర్స్ మార్చినా ఒకే ఏమైతుంది ప్రాబ్లం ఏమైతుంది చెప్పండి. ఇఫ్ యు మేక్ దిస్ ఆల్సో స్టాటిక్ వాట్ విల్ హ్యాపెన్? ఓకే, స్టూడెంట్ డాట్ ఓకే కాలేజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు ఇఫ్ ఐ మేక్ JNTU. ఫైనల్ గా ఆఫ్టర్ దట్ ఇఫ్ ఐ డిస్ప్లే S1 dot display, right, and S2 dot display also, what it will display both the times? I am displaying after all these changes, right? College, what is the value we are assigning? JNTU. Okay, college is JNTU. After that, are we modifying it? After that, did we modify the value? No, college is JNTU. Okay. Yes, but name and course also, how many times memory will created? Only one time. Now I am assigning Ravi ECE. Now again I am assigning Vijay and IT. And what is the final value? Vijay and IT. And if రెండు సార్లు Vijay IT JNTU, Vijay IT JNTU. అంతే కదా, ఫైనల్ గా రీసెంట్లీ అప్డేటెడ్ వాల్యూస్ ఆర్ దేర్. Vijay IT JNTU, Vijay student 1 Vijay IT ne, student 2 also Vijay. Oh no, that is mistake, right? Oh, S1 student is different, S2 student is different. Not only one copy. Every object should have different copies. So remove the static. So if I remove static, what will happen? Now, oh, S1 student name is Ravi ECE, but college is same JNTU. Student 2 is Vijay IT, college is same JNTU. Understood? Right? So like that. So in the memory, static variable is created how many times? Only one time. So all objects refers to same variable. Other instance variables, every object has its own copy of the variable. Okay, right? Yeah. So if now instance variables, how many copies are created in the memory? Depends on how many objects we create. If you create 5 objects, instance variables also created 5 copies. But static variable is created only 1 copy. Right? In case, if you modify the static variable, if you modify the value, if you modify the static variable value, the modified value will reflect for all the objects. The recently updated value will reflect for all the objects. Okay, well, let's say initially it is JNTU, but later on, if I change it, assume that S1 dot college equal to S1 dot college equal to KLU something. If I change, now how many copies are there in the memory college? No, it's a static variable. We know that there is only 1 copy. Static variable only 1 copy, but recent value, what is that? KL. So the KL will reflect for both S1 as well as for S2. So that's what. If you modify the value, the modified value will reflect for all the objects. Okay. Correct. Both are referring to which variable? Same way, kada. Bank law, you have an account, but this is your account. You went to one of the cashier counter. Okay, it would be account lo, okay, 0 balance in your account has 0 balance. You went to one of the cashier counter, but first S1 cashier counter, you deposited 5,000. After some time, you go to the second cashier and ask for inquiry. How much is there in your balance? Will he say 0? No, right? Because both the cashier counters are referring to same your account, right? So using S1 also, if you modify the value, it is modifying this value, right? So JNTU is replaced with KLU. S2 refers to the same thing. Do you understand? Now S1 and S2 both are referring to the same variable. If you modify the value, it will reflect for all the objects. And if you modify s1.name, will it modify s2 name? S1 lo name mariste, S2 lo name martunda? No, because we have two copies of variables. S1 name is different, S2 name is different. But as college is same for both objects. Okay, even if you modify, the modified value will reflect for all the objects. ఎట్లానే చెప్పొచ్చు మీరు. అదే అన్నాను ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఈ క్యాషియర్ కౌంటర్ దగ్గర డిపాజిట్ చేసినా ఈయనకు వచ్చేది అదే వాల్యూనే. ఇక్కడ డిపాజిట్ చేసినా ఈ క్యాషియర్ రిఫ్లెక్ట్ అయ్యేది కూడా సేమ్ వాల్యూనే. Okay, that means now college you can access directly using class. You can access through S1 object or through S2 object. Adhe annam static variable we can access using class or object. Okay, so mere s2.college and marks na. Okay, but again both will reflect have. So KLU, KL. S1 name college also KLU, S2 college also KLU. Okay, right? So okay, now what is a static variable and instance variables? So instance variables belongs to objects. Static variables belong to class. Okay. So static variables in the memory only one copy is created. Instance variable is created for every object. Okay. The next local variable. Local variable and so for example, if you declare a variable inside a method, if you declare a variable inside a method, automatically it is called as a local variable. So for example, add and multiply is there. If I declare a variable inside a add method, but int n and if I declare here, but where did I declare n? N is declared inside add method, right? So it is available only in the add method. If I come to the multiply method and say n equal to 100, it won't understand where is n. It is giving error. N is not understandable. Okay. Yeah. So if I say n equal to 100 here, it will understand because e scope is okay. But here it is not understanding where is n. Understood, right? So now what is the local variable? The variable which is declared inside a method and it is accessible only in the same method. Okay. But whereas instance variables, static variables are created in the class. So static variables belong to the class. Instance variables belongs to objects. Yeah. What is instance variables? Variables are declared in the class. Access the variables using object. For each object, the variable is created. For every object, variable is created. The static variable declared in the class, accessible using object or class. For all objects, only one copy of the variable is created. Local variable, the variable declared in a method, accessible only in the same method it is declared. There are three types of variables. Okay, right? See, in further going classes, we will be discussing only the terminology. Every day, only this terminology: class, methods, variable, object. In all concepts. Okay. Further going classes, even during selenium time also, only it 4 terminologies: class, object, methods, variables. That only these 4 concepts. But again, what I said, static variable belong to the class. Well, I am using a class only. Instance variables belongs to object. I am talking about object only. So what is that variables? Variables class kuntaya, object kuntaya. Okay. So which variables belong to the class? Static variable belong to the class. If they are not static, then they belongs to objects. Take the object and the number of copies. How many copies are created? Sir, if a class, if I am creating 5 objects, the variable also created in the memory 5 copies. If you make a static variable, only 1 copy created in the memory, all objects will share the same variable. The concept. Okay. This is okay, Mo, about the variables. Okay, next, what does a class has apart from variables? Apart from variables, what does a class have?
Methods.
Methods say kada? Class has variables and methods.
Methods.
After variables, what is there in a class? Methods. You know what is a method and why are we writing method? Yesterday I gave a clear explanation. Right? If you write separate methods, it is easy for us to understand the coding. We can reuse the same method in other class also if you want. Even advantages say reusability, better understanding, right? Like that. Okay, first of all, what is a method? Method is some block of code, right? Method is a block from here to here. It is a block, right? Yeah, all of you. What is a method? It's a block of code, ma. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, method is some block of code only, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I will explain this. Can you, before that, you have any questions till now? What we discussed? We haven't discussed JSM till now. Today, what did we discuss? Which happened, ma? Can you tell me someone what are all topics we discussed today? Class and create object for class, right? Yeah, now I gave an example also like scanner class,
Array list.
array list. So I gave an example. Just okay, class there are method. Class there are some methods how to create object and how to call the methods. That's all right. Okay. Next, what else we discussed? I said we can create object for a class. Anywhere in other class also still we can access, right? We can create object for a class in any other class and still access the methods. The next, what else we discussed? Array list, scanner, I discussed this one. Next one.
Variables.
Variable types, right? Like instance variables.
Static variable, local variable.
Local variables. Then topics. That's all right. What we discussed. How to create object for a class. Like scanner and how to read input from the keyboard will learn. Array list is also some advanced to array. Because array is a fixed size. Array list is some advanced to array, right? Like, so size is dynamic. You can add values, you can remove values like that. But array low we cannot do like that. And that's why I gave some example like that. Then what I call variables, right? Instance, static, and then local variables. Next, we want to talk about methods. Okay. Yeah. So method we can write some block of code, right? Like this. Yeah. What is the syntax of writing a method? They go like this, right? Public void method name. You have to open a bracket. The syntax understood, no? Like the syntax method name, there is a bracket. Then you write a curly braces and close. Inside, this is the body, right? What here? This is the body of the method. This is the body of the method. Okay. Now, in this class, how many methods we have written? 2 methods. I want to write one more method. Public void. Okay, subtract, division, okay. I want to write add once again. Can we write the same add method twice? No. Obviously, right? It's a confusion. Why it is confusion? Because if you try to call that C dot add like this, if you call, then it should display 10 plus 20, 30, right? But when it is trying to call, it's confusion, right? E adder, E adder, both are added. Both are same. Then when you are calling a method like this, remember when you are calling a method, it's confusion, right? Which one it has to call? First one or second one? Confusion. Right? So, but what should I do now? I want to write same method. I want to write same add-on. Naming march. I want to write name must be same. Okay, so then do one thing. The input what we give to the method are called evanam. Yeah, but length method is taking an input.
Parameter.
Emma, is length method are we giving it inside the brackets? Inside the bracket, what we give are called arguments, right? Is length method is taking any arguments?
No, sir.
No. Substring is taking how many arguments?
2 arguments.
2 arguments. Caret is taking 1 integer argument, right? Remember, 2 uppercase is taking any arguments? No. Yeah. So the input what we give to the method are called arguments. Okay. Now what we can do is I write method name same, but I change the arguments. So this method is going to take 2 arguments. But now see automatically error is removed, right? Okay. Now if I call add, which one it will call?
First add.
If I call c dot add, it will call the first add. And if I call add off, let's say 5,9, which one it will call?
Second add.
Second one. Because 5 will go to A, 9 will go to B. Yes or not? So here if I display R length, okay, x equal to, what is that? X equal to A, y equal to B. Okay, if I do like this. Now if I am displaying what you call, my x plus. So what is that it will display now? Even though I am giving 10, 20, but recent values are 5, 9. That means A value will go take 5, B will take 9. Now x is changed to 5 and 9, right? Now it will display 5 plus 9. How much?
14.
14, huh? 14, right? అది వేర్లే అదే ఈ అవుట్పుట్ ఒకటి ఉంది కదా ముందర ఈ 10 plus 50 అది ఒకటి ఉంది కదా అదిలే బట్ దిస్ ఇస్ డిస్ప్లేయింగ్ 14, right? So now no confusion, right? Yeah, without arguments if you call, but without 5, 9 if you call, what will happen? The first one is how much? 10 plus 20? 30, right? Okay, na? Yeah. So now what is happening? So method name is same, but arguments are different. So this concept in Java, it is called as method overloading. Method overloading. So what is method overloading concept? In a class, we declare same method multiple times, but with a different arguments. Okay. So if you want to do overloading, there is some rule. Either number of arguments must be different or data type must be different. Maybe I can have one more add method, public void add. I'm giving int a comma int b comma int c. No confusion. Without arguments, first one. This is taking how many arguments? 2 arguments. This is taking 3 arguments. No confusion. I'm writing one more add method, public void add. This is I'm giving int a comma string b. No problem. So this is taking 2 integers. This is taking 1 integer comma string. Even if I say add, which one it will call the first one? If I say c dot add, if I say for example 5 comma abcd, which one it will call ma? The last one, right? That is c dot add off. See, now if I call like this arguments 4 comma 9 comma 20 like this, which one it will call? The third one, right?
Third
No
one.
confusion. Okay, so based on the arguments you call, the respective method will be called. They must same method, but based on the argument, method is called. That is called as method overloading. But other concept, but array list example I did right here. ఈ కాన్సెప్ట్ లో add అనేది ఎన్ని మెథడ్స్ ఉన్నాయమ్మా? array list dot add. See, there is a 2 add methods, right? This add is taking only string. This add is taking integer comma string, right? మనకే తెలుసు add, it is taking only string. This is taking integer comma string, right? Method name is same, but arguments are different, right? మరి ఆ కాన్సెప్ట్ అదే మెథడ్ ఓవర్లోడింగ్. ఇప్పుడు ఎగ్జాంపుల్ str.index of, you know, right? ఇప్పుడు str.index of what it will do? It will give me the position of this character, right? First occurrence position, right? ఇక్కడ how many arguments I am passing? One argument. Or ఇక్కడ index of లో how many arguments I am passing? Two arguments. అంటే there is a same method with different arguments, right? అంటే అది మెథడ్ ఓవర్లోడింగ్ ఏనా? ఏమా ఓకే, ఇక్కడే you can see what you call str.index of. See, index of can take one argument, index of can take one string argument, index of can take one integer comma, sorry, one character comma integer argument, index of can take one string comma integer argument. They are same method, but arguments are different, right? Data types are different. But even in same method with different arguments is called as method overloading. Okay, right? So to do overloading, what is the rule? Method name must be same. Arguments must be different, right? So arguments means either data type must be different or number of arguments must be different, right? What is that? Methods? Method is a block of code having few statements. Like this, we write a syntax. Right? This is the body. Next one, what is that? Method overloading, right? Same method declared in a class for multiple times, but with the different arguments. Either number of arguments are different or data type is different. So like this, add method with the different arguments. Okay, right? Okay, next I think we need to talk about method return types. Adi ippudu edo adigaru kada, void. So void means, what is the meaning? Method will not return any value. Method will not return any value. Mari we have to discuss this. So it will take time to discuss that one. We will see tomorrow class, not an issue. Okay. So what is that method? Yeah, undi kada time. We have time till 12, right? 11:30. Yeah. So okay, before continuing with method return type, this is okay, ma'am. Method overloading. Method name is same, but what is that? Arguments are different, right? That's called method overloading. Yeah. Okay, ma'am. Yeah. Any questions still here? Yeah. One more concept, method return types, we will discuss today. Yeah. Is it okay, all of you? Rama, Maunisha,
Yes, sir.
Ira, Samuel.
Yes, sir.
And are you all practicing the previous concepts, my everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So all examples you are able to solve? All programs are executing properly? No
Yes,
error?
sir. No errors.
No, it means you are writing a program without any errors, or after errors you are able to resolve?
We are able to resolve, sir.
Okay. Good. Okay. Next, let us understand what you call method return types, right? If you remember these examples, length method returns what value? Integer value.
Integer.
It is returning an integer value. Right? In case if you want to catch, you have to catch in integer value. This method returns string. In case if you want to catch, you need to catch into a string variable. So this method is returning values. So length returns a value. String substring returns a string value. Caret returns one character value. Replace returns again a string value. Contains return a Boolean value. Index of returns a integer value. Println kuda method e kada. What is the return type of println? Void. Println doesn't return anything. So I am giving some input. నేను ఒక ఇన్పుట్ ఇస్తున్నాను అమ్మా. println method taking this input and printing on the screen. It is not giving anything back to me. Yes, sir. Whatever I am giving, it is printing on the screen. It doesn't give anything back to me. Yes, sir. That means this method will not return any value. Understood, right? This method will not return any value. Okay, so that's why println what is written here as void. The main method is there. Main method will execute. Will it return anything back to me? No. That's why what is written here? Void. So if I place a cursor also, void. Main method doesn't return anything. Okay. Yeah. So what is that method? Return types, right? Yeah. So void means what is the meaning, ma? Method will not return any value. If method returns a value, if method returns a value, then specify the data type. So చెప్పాలి కదా what value it returns, int, char, string, boolean. Okay. Yeah. So we have to tell the data type like this. Now see, if you see the syntax, public void f1. Yeah. So void means what is the meaning? It doesn't return anything. So no need to return anything. But here we told public int f2, right? Oh, that means it is returning an integer value. Compulsory in the method, you have to use a word called return. Trial, return, and you have to return a value. Okay? 20 na, I don't know, whatever it is. Well, suppose you declared some variable C and you did some calculations, either some calculations you did. Okay, C value got updated with some value. Now you return the C, no problem. But what is the C value? Integer, right? Return the C. Perfect, right? Yeah. Now this is a string. So you are returning a string type. Okay. Now you are returning C. C is a what data type? Integer data type. So return type is int. Now here you are returning a string value. So it is a string. Now what is this method return type? Sample. And aim return cheyali? Correct type. What it has to return so that it is of sample type. It should return object of sample. Object of sample is the sample type. And if you return, for example, if you return a value 20, is 20 is a sample type? No. If you return some string, is it a sample type? No, ala double quotes raste string kadamma. Yes or not? Ante return type string undali kada. Right? So you are returning a sample. So somewhere you should have created object of sample. You did some manipulation here. Either some manipulations you did here. You did some manipulations. So now you are returning that object of sample, right? What is that you are doing? You are returning the object of sample. So OBJ is of what type? Sample type. So when you return object of sample, it will be of sample. Understood, right? So a method can return a normal variables like this, right? Data type, right? So if a method is going to return, compulsory we have to say return the value, we have to return it. Okay, right? Yeah. So if method doesn't return anything, then it is called as a void. So the meaning actually, when we are writing our own methods here, so void means we are not returning anything. Well, in case if you want to return a value, then you have to say return. Okay, na? Today, a small example for today. I want you tell me how should I do that. I want to create a class called vehicle. Okay. Which has So this is the question. I want to create a class called vehicle. So with this class members and objects, variables, right? Class members and variables and out kada. These variables, and there's a method, right, which will calculate insurance. So based on the vehicle type, right? So tell me, how do you create a class now? New class, vehicle. Yeah, we can have main method also, right? So what are the variables we need? Vehicle type, price, and name. So vehicle type, what type of data type it is?
String.
Vehicle type, comma, name. Name or string. But whereas price is price. So what is the method we want to write? Yeah, what is the method? Calculate insurance, right?
Insurance.
Return some value. A return type return type must be int, right? Because it's a insurance amount, right? Amount means that is string. It is a calculated value. Number, right? It is integer. So what do you write here now? Public int calculate insurance, right? So what is the condition? If vehicle type equal to two-wheeler, then how much it has to return? Return. Maybe you would have calculated. For example, you would have declared local variable int INS. A variable declare chestunte. Yeah, insurance equal to how much? Price into 500, right? Else if vehicle type equal to three-wheeler, INS equal to price into 6/100. Else if vehicle type equal to if condition like this we write, right? Insurance equal to 10/100. Else insurance equal to 0. Final ga return insurance, right? Return cheyali kada. Ade kada question on. Yeah. So what is the question here? Now these are the three variables, right? Declared vehicle type, price, and name. Vehicle type, price, and name. So calculate insurance. Two-wheeler means 5% of price. Four-wheeler 10% of price. Three-wheeler 6%. Else return 0. So that's why what did we write here? If it is a two-wheeler means insurance amount is this much. And if it else if we learned, right, already in the programming concept. If vehicle type two-wheeler do like this, else if three-wheeler do like this, else if four-wheeler do like this. Else insurance amount is 0. Return that insurance and whatever it is. Return. I told if a method returns a value, we have to say return the value we have to return. Yeah. Now, if I want to call these variables and methods, how do you access them? You have to create object for the class and access them, right? How do you create object? Vehicle, some V. One equal to new vehicle. V1 dot. The name. Name equal to some vehicle, right? So V1 dot price equal to the V1 dot vehicle type, right? Vehicle type equal to 4 అట్లా రాస్తే అది అప్పుడు 0 అయిపోతుంది. మనం అక్కడ ఇవ్వాలి కదా 4 వీలర్ రైట్, అట్లా కదా రాసాము ఇక్కడ.
Yes,
వెహికల్
sir.
టైప్ 2 వీలర్ 4 వీలర్ అది రాసాము 4 వీలర్. సో ఇప్పుడు ఏమైంది, నెక్స్ట్ when I call v1 dot calculate insurance. ఇప్పుడు calculate insurance will return me what type of value. See here, return type is beginning level, return type is int కదా first word, because it is returning integer, so it is int. So if I want to catch that in the variable, maybe you can take what I call int. Integer kada తీసుకోవాలి, int what I call I amount, right, insurance amount, ఏదో variable no, what I call x equal to what is there on. So can you display? Yeah. So insurance amount is, how much is the insurance amount? Then, so maybe if you want to display the what do you call, the details of the vehicle also you can display, right, if you want. So how much is the insurance amount? Yeah, 1,20,000, right? Because vehicle cost is 12 lakhs. 10% of it is 1,20,000. Okay. Like, for example, if you have given 2 wheeler, it should take. So if you give 1,20,000 vehicle, I think. So how much it would have given? So 6,000, right? 5% of 1,20,000. 6,000. And maybe vehicle type ఏదైనా వేరే ఇచ్చారు, mistake and some wrong. So what it will give me? 0, right? Because there is no 7 wheeler. So friends, 0 because wrong vehicle name we keep. Okay. అప్పుడు ఇక్కడ కావాలంటే మీరు చెప్పచ్చు, if x is 0, display invalid vehicle, right? లేదంటే display this. ఇప్పుడు రాయొచ్చు కదా మనం, we can write if condition based, right? If x equal to 0 అయితే then what is that? System dot out dot invalid vehicle type. Anything else? Display this. Nothing based on our logic of building the. Output instead of displaying 0, what it is? Display invalid vehicle. లేదంటే మనం కరెక్ట్ ఇస్తే అప్పుడు డిస్ప్లే. Okay, like this, if conditions, methods, coding, okay. So please understand how the creating a classes, methods, method return types. Okay, and again practice examples on programming logic, right? Loops, arrays. I mean, always daily half an hour again. ఏదో example చూస్తూ ఉన్నాను, different examples of logic, right? So that obviously after some time, right, definitely there is an improvement, right? The way of understanding also changes. Okay, how you are writing a programming, how a method returns a value. If a method returns, we have to catch into a variable. Well, if it is not returning, I cannot catch, right? After error. So equal to right side is void. But how you catch into a variable? Error. But now it is returning it, so we are catching it. Well, in case I am saying if it is void and no return value, you cannot catch, right? If you program on the calculations, I am creating object and calling the add method. Is add method returning any value? If add is returning any value? No. Then I catch చేశాను అనుకోండి, it will throw error, right? Into z equal to ante error kada. This method is giving void type mismatch, right? You cannot convert from void to int. You cannot convert void to int, right? It's not possible. Yeah. So this is another. Okay, na? This you can do. Okay. The next, so you have understood what is a class. A class has variables and methods. So method overloading as well as method return types we discussed. Then method overloading, method return types. The class has constructor that we will discuss tomorrow, and then we will talk about 2 or more classes. We were talking about only one single class, right? So maybe sir, today I am writing one program. I have written one method. Tomorrow I am writing another program. There also I want same method. So are you going to duplicate the method? No, right? So we want to reuse the same code in multiple classes, right? So how to reuse them? I will discuss. Okay, our tomorrow will. Okay. You understood, right? Suppose, sir, I am creating multiple classes. Yeah. I am writing one class. I am writing another class. I am writing another class. Now here also I need a variable x. Here also I need same variable x. Here also I need same variable x. Here I need f1 method, and here I need f2 method. Here I need f1 method. Okay, here I have f1 method. I have f5 method, f6 method. Okay, here I need y variable also. Here I need n z variable. But if you see here, what is common? F1 method is common, right? All of you. I mean, all programs F1 is common. Next, what else is common? No, F2 ekkada ledu. F2 ikkada ochote undi. X variable is common, right? All of you, X variable is common. Idi F2 undi. Ikkada F6 F5 is there. F6 and F5 is there. Okay. So what is common here? X variable and F1 method, right? See, I duplicated in multiple classes. Instead of duplicating in multiple classes, can we create X variable somewhere, F1 method somewhere, and reuse this in all the classes? That concept we want to discuss. Okay, instead of duplicating the code multiple times, how we can reuse the same variable and method in multiple classes? Another discuss. So before that, one small concept called constructor is there. So that we will complete tomorrow, and then I will discuss this, how to reuse the code. Okay. So that will be another class. So any questions for today? Hello.
No, sir.
Yeah. Okay, Madan. Thank you.